Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Walk and Talk Faith Devotional. I'm your host, Annie, and today's verse is from Psalm 139, verse 7, the NIV version, and it reads, "Where can I go from your spirit? Where can I flee from your presence?" When the kids were little, there was always constant chatter around the house. Talking and laughing could be heard coming from their bedrooms or in the living room or wherever they were gathered to watch TV, or what they called camping, which meant that they set up layers of blankets and sheets to make a fort, and it looked something like a tent. There was always something happening, and there was always engagement in something. Even while watching TV, they were reacting, laughing, gasping, or commenting. But when they were quiet and there was no noise coming from anywhere from their bedrooms or living room, this could only mean one of two possibilities, one of two possible scenarios. They were either asleep or they did something wrong. And as kids, it's rare that you find any child that would voluntarily tell of any wrongdoing. Instead, they stayed silent in hopes their parents wouldn't find out. Or they were thinking up an excuse for their actions. But isn't it funny how as parents you always seem to know when something is just not right? We lay down the parameters, the ground rules, and set the boundaries, and when things go well and they follow the rules, all is good. It's then we realize what normal sounds like. However, when they don't follow the rules, the sound shifts from normal to different. That often leads to silence. Their guilt consumes them, and they begin to look for shelter or refuge in their places, things, or other people. They remove themselves from the situation so as not to be associated with the bad. It's as if they begin to hide, thinking if they're not near the scene, they're obviously not involved, right? Can you imagine what it must be like when Adam and Eve disobeyed God in the Garden of Eden? They went into hiding, trying to disassociate themselves from their sinful act. What did God say to them? He said, "Where are you?" God knew exactly where they were the whole entire time. He was waiting for them to reply and gave them ample time to admit their sin and ask for forgiveness. When my kids were quiet, I knew exactly what they were doing, and they were up to something. I went to go check on them only to find out they had done something wrong and how they had disobeyed me. But I wanted them to know what they did wrong, and I wanted them to have the opportunity to explain themselves. With everything they did wrong, it was a teachable moment. I needed them to understand what they did was indeed wrong and know that each time they do something like that or they disobeyed me, that there would be consequences, such as maybe extra chores, or I would ground them for a period of time, or something had to be taken away from them. But I also told them that rules were put in place to protect them and to keep them safe. I forgave them because I love them, just as God forgives us because He loves us. So what are you hiding from God today? He already knows. Take everything to God and ask Him to forgive you. He loves you and just wants you safe from harm. So will you turn to Him? I pray you do, and see how gracious God really is. I hope you enjoyed this devotional. Have a blessed day.